Hi children, now let us continue with the same Pythagorean triplet. In earlier problem, they stated one number as the smallest number. But here they have not mentioned whether this 12 is going to be smallest or greatest. We are not sure. Okay, what is the general formula for Pythagorean triplet? Come on, take down in your note. 2m, m squared minus 1 and m squared plus 1. Okay, among these three, I don't know what is this 12 to be. Is it equal to 2m or is it equal to m squared minus 1 or is it equal to m squared plus 1? Three options are there to compare this 12 with. Okay, so let me begin with m squared minus 1 is equal to 12. Now, if I have m squared minus 1 is equal to 12, I will take this 1 to right hand side. It becomes 13. 12 plus 1 becomes 13. Can I write 13 as a square number or square of any number? Can I write 13? If it is 9, I can write it as 3 squared. If it is 16, I can write it as 4 squared. This 13, can I write? No, my dear children. So, we will say my matching is wrong. I cannot take m squared minus 1 is equal to 12. Then try with m squared plus 1 is equal to 12. Even then, if I take this plus 1 this side, it will become minus 1 and it will be 11. Again, I cannot write 11 as a square of any natural number. So, what is the only option I can compare this 12 with? I can have it with only 2m. Okay. So, let me start with 2m is equal to 12. Now, here I have it in multiplication. When it transfers from left hand side to right hand side, it becomes by 2. 12 divided by 2. So, m is equal to 6. Okay, my dear children, with the help of this m, I have to find the other two numbers of the triplet. What are the other two numbers? M squared minus 1 and m squared plus 1. Okay, m squared is m is equal to 6. 6 squared minus 1. So, I get 36 minus 1, 35. Whereas here m squared plus 1, I will get addition. So, I get 37. So, what is the triplets? Will you say 6, 35 and 37? No, my dear children, be careful. You have to locate 2m value. 12, 35 and 37 are the Pythagorean triplet. Hope you are very strong enough and you have got the confidence in playing with Pythagorean triplets. Okay, what is the general formula for writing Pythagorean triplet? 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1. Have it in a paper, stick it somewhere in your home and keep looking at it. Then it will be in your heart, my dear children. Okay. So now today we are going to see a new concept again. A second new concept. What is that? Any guesses? Second half of this chapter. It deals with square roots. Okay. Finding the square root is the inverse operation of squaring. As we have the inverse process of addition as subtraction. What is the inverse process of division? Multiplication. Likewise, the inverse process of squaring. So far we were dealing about squaring. The inverse operation is square root. How we got it? 1 square is equal to 1 means the reverse process. Square root of this 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Isn't it? This is the inverse operation. Square root of, from the reverse I have to go. Here, if I have another look at it, minus 1 squared is also 1. Here 1 squared is also 1. Minus 1 the whole square is also 1. So, does it mean minus 1 is also a square root of 1? Square root of 1 has two answers. 1 as well as minus 1. Yes, my dear children, square root has two values. Positive value and also negative value. But in class 8, we are going to learn about only positive roots, not negative roots. Okay, my dear children, from 8 to 10, we will consider only positive square roots. No need to think about this negative square. But you should know that a square root will have both positive and negative answers. See here, there are two integral square roots of a perfect square. 2 integral in the sense plus square root 1 minus square root 1. That's how I have concluded here. Positive square root of a number is denoted by the symbol this. Hope you are familiar with this symbol in calculator, then in newspapers. Many times you would have come across this. Now it's a chance and you got the moment to play with this symbol hereafter. Okay, square root of 4 is equal to 2. Square root of 9 is equal to 3. So what will be the square root of 64? 8. What is the square root of 81? 9. Because I can write like this. Square root of 9 squared. What is 9 squared? 81. This 81 is written as square root of 9 squared. Okay. So this answer is equal to only 9. Okay. Square root of 100 can be written as 10 square. Square root of 10 square. That is inside square root. If I have a square number, I will get the answer only as that number and not square. Okay, in general, maths teachers and we used to say this and this get cancelled. But don't have that perception, my dear children. You should know that the square root will give us an answer for a square number. Okay, only if we have a square number inside the square root, I will get the answer. Is it clear, my dear children? Have a look at this carefully. Square root of all the square numbers. See here 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. All these are square numbers. If I have square numbers inside that, I will get the answer without that squares. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now let us see here. That's what I have written here. 36 squared is equal to 6 squared, which is equal to 6. Now here, how to find the square root? There are 3 methods, my dear children. The first thing is finding square root through repeated subtraction. We already know that sum of first n odd natural numbers is n squared. That is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. By adding that, I can get a square number. So I have a square number 81. I am going to subtract it repeatedly. Repeated subtraction means keeping on subtracting till I reach 0. How should I subtract? With what should I subtract? I should subtract from 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I should keep on subtracting till I reach 0. If it is a square number, surely we will reach it as 0. If it is not a square number, I will not arrive at 0. Is it clear, my dear children? See, if I subtract with 1, I get 80. If I subtract with 3, that answer should be subtracted. Have a look over this. Then this 77 should be subtracted with 5. Then this 70 should be subtracted by 7. Then this 65 should be subtracted with 9. This also should be keeping on changing. 1, 3, 5, 7, next 9, then 11. Is it clear, my dear children? If I keep on subtracting, I get 0. And do you think this will be a good method for us to find the square root? If it is going to be 1256 or 6400, will you be able to subtract all these things as many times and find the answer? No, children. This method is a time consuming method. So we will not go in for this method. But then in exam, if they ask you to find square root through repeated subtraction, you should follow this method only. Okay, my dear children, they may ask you such a question also. Okay, now let us get into the next method using prime factorization method. You are familiar with prime factorization, I believe, my dear children. Repeated division is prime factorization using prime numbers. Okay, so how will you do prime factorization for this number 324? Come on, start working out in your rough note. 324. Prime factorization with L. Keeping on dividing, no? We used to say LCM, HCF using this prime factorization. Those are different concepts. Just to recall you about prime factorization, I am telling those words. Do the prime factorization for 324. Have you started working on it? Divide it from 2, starting from 2, because it is an even number. Okay, let me show you what it is. See, if I start with 2, I get 1 2 is 2, remainder 1. So 6 2s are 12, then 2 2s are 4. Again I am going in for 2 because it is an even number. 8 2s are 16, then 1 2 is 2. This is an odd number, so I cannot divide it with 2. So I am going for the next prime number 3. And I am sure this 81 is divisible by 3. Then 2 3s are 6. Remainder will be 2. So 21. 7 3s are 21. So you got an idea how to do this prime factorization. So this square root, I have to find the square root of 324. This 324 can be written as 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. I got this from this prime factorization, my dear children. Till the end you should do. Okay. So I can write this as square numbers. This 34 can be written as a square number. See, everything comes in pairs. 2 times it is. So 2. This 2 can be written as 2 square. That is 2. For this pair I take 1. For this pair, see, you should be very careful. Only if I am capable of sorting it out as pair, I can get the answer. See, this 2 into 2, 1 2. For this 3 2 3, I take 1 3. For this 2 3, I take 1 3. Together I can write it as square. So as per this definition of square root, a square number when square root of taken for a square of a number, it is equal to that number alone. This and this. Okay. So I get 2 into 3 into 3 as the answer. Is it clear, my dear children? How to? It's very simple. Do the prime factorization, pair them up, you will get the answer. Okay. Imagine if I have some extra number like this which is not in pair. It doesn't have pair. What will happen? I cannot pair this 3 with any other thing. I don't have one more extra 3 to pair it along with this. That's how this prime factorization comes. Then what will be my conclusion? Here is an example for you. This 48 is an perfect square. Again, see here I am splitting it in terms of prime factorization. 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 18 2s are 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 3s are 48. Okay. Now if I have to pair it up, 1 pair, 2 pair. It is without a pair. So I can conclude that it is not a perfect square. You should say it is not a perfect square. I cannot find the square root for such a non-perfect square. Non-perfect square number. Okay. Is it clear, my dear children? Shall we go in for one more problem? Find the square root of 6400. Okay. By just looking at the number, you may feel this A64 is very familiar. Isn't it? 8 into 8. This 100 is written as 10 into 10. Will you all agree to my splitation? Yes, hope. Therefore, I can pair it up. I get 18 and this 110. So, what is my answer? 80 is my answer. But this is not the only way to get the answer, my dear children. As I insisted you, you can go in for repeated division like 6400 here. And you can do it for 2 like this. This is how it is given in book. This is the right way as per the definition, as per the method they have suggested. If they have not suggested any method, you can go in for any splitation as fast you can do. Okay. If I pair it up now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 2s I have written. For this 2, 2, 1, 2. For this 2, I have taken 1, 2. Again, for the next 2 2s, I have taken 2. Then for this pair of 5, I have taken 1, 5. If I multiply all these things, 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 5s are 80. Okay, I got the answer, the same answer, my dear children. Hope it is clear for you. So today we have seen only two concepts. Pythagorean triplet, find the square root by prime factorization method. Okay, only two things. Pythagorean triplet, playing with Pythagorean triplets, and finding the square root by prime factorization method. Okay, my dear children, that's what you are going to practice today in your classwork note. So you will complete in exercise 6.2. You have only two problems, my dear children. In each problem, you practice 2 subdivisions. That is more than enough. And if you feel you have more time, you can play with as many problems as you want. Okay, I will not put restriction for the maximum numbers. But compulsory is 2 subdivision in each and every question. And then also in exercise 6.3, you can answer from 1 to 4th question alone. The remaining we will continue in next class. Thank you.